How we doing, everyone? Sam here, United People's TV. Now, the transfer window might not have started, but Harry Kane, we can't ignore the news that broke last night that Harry Kane has put in a transfer request to Tottenham Hotspur. Not the first time that these stories have sort of surfaced this summer, or this season, sorry, going into the summer. But the fact that Spurs look very likely to miss out on the top four, a player like Harry Kane, a player of Harry Kane's quality, can you really keep him at a club like Spurs without winning silverware? I've always thought for quite a long time that it would be a matter of time before Spurs' team fell apart. That season where they had Pochettino and that season where I think they finished second, they looked like they were going to win the league, but they didn't win the league. Well, it looks like this summer is the time when Harry Kane really... I want to ask you, and let me know in the comments below. If you're watching on Facebook, how you doing? Make sure you drop a like on the video. Make sure you share. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you drop a like on it too. And if you're new, subscribe. If the super chats aren't working, I don't know why they're working. They really should. But I'm new to this game, and apparently I cannot get it right. But let's run through the stories because they all broke last night, and they were from Sky Sports. That's where the main story came from. It came from Sky Sports News that Harry Kane had put in a transfer request to leave Tottenham Hotspur. Let's run through that story. I said Harry Kane has again told Tottenham he wants to leave this summer. Spurs are now making inquiries about replacement centre forwards in the first indication that the club are willing to consider the feelings of their 27-year-old talisman. They don't want to sell him, but United, City and Chelsea have all been in touch with Kane's representatives, CK66, expressing a desire to sign the England international. Now, with the fact that Harry Kane is worth, what, 100 to 150 million, and the fact that we've already got Edinson Cavani on a one-year extension, is Harry Kane the priority? But at the same time, can you ignore the fact that Harry Kane is available, a player like Harry Kane? I think that's the quandary for United fans, because Harry Kane clearly is not the priority in any way, shape or form for Manchester United this summer. But can you really ignore the fact that a player like Kane is available? Comment here from Anik. I think you got it spot on there, mate. We need a central defensive midfielder and a centre-back first, maybe even a right winger before we need a striker. But can you ignore the fact that a player like Harry Kane is available? Now, how much do you think Harry Kane would be worth? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to keep reading the story and how it developed last night, because it wasn't just with Sky Sports. The Times jumped in as well. Matt Lawton saying Harry Kane has formally told Tottenham Hotspur he wants to leave this summer and believes he has a gentleman's agreement with Daniel Levy. Good luck getting a gentleman's agreement with Daniel Levy and him keeping to it. Said United, City and Chelsea have all the same story coming from the Times. The Times saying that Barcelona have already made contact with him, but that doesn't matter. Barcelona are skint after what happened this summer. Heading over to the People's Person. The website is obviously United People's TV is the YouTube channel. The People's Person is the website run by an excellent team of writers. Now, the story here on Harry Kane. Let's read a bit more detail about it. Very possible that the one English club that made an approach last summer was United. Obviously, we were linked with Haaland at 1.2. And I suppose that's another question. Does signing Harry Kane mean that United won't in any way, shape or form go in for Erling Haaland next summer? What do you want to happen? Let me read a few of your comments out here. Got a comment here from Chris Rankin over on Facebook saying Kane would stop Greenwood and Rashford progress in the team. A central defensive midfielder would be better, money spent, and would improve Rashford and Greenwood, where Kane would have to be the main man. All play would go through him. Now, I do agree on that in the fact that if you sign a player like Harry Kane, you've got to play him every single week because he's Harry Kane and you paid, what, 100 odd million for him. So if United were to sign Harry Kane, I do think that he would step in front of pretty much everybody as our centre forward. Every single game that he is fit, he would play that game. So it's a bit of as I said, it's a quandary. It's a situation where if you look at it on the surface, if Harry Kane's available, go for him. But it's a situation where I think all of us in reality know that this summer Manchester United spending is going to be limited. It's always limited anyway. But given that it's the coronavirus, it gives the Glazers an excuse not to spend money. So I don't think we're going to spend that much. I think if we're lucky, we're going to spend 100 million, which therefore means we're really going to spend all of that on Harry Kane, given that we've got Cavani to sign a one-year extension, and given that a central defensive midfielder and a centre-back are probably bigger priorities. Sean Waring, let's have a look. Why is it that it's always attacking players who make the headlines? We clearly need a world-class defensive midfielder and 2 centre-halves. Goal scorers are sexy, Sean. Goal scorers are what makes... that's why football is exciting, and that's why they'll always get the headlines. No matter how good a centre-back or a central defensive midfielder are, they're not as sexy. Therefore, they won't get the headlines. But you know I've been saying this, and I've been saying this for so long, that a central defensive midfielder is United's priority this summer. I've seen it on 5, 10, 20, 30 occasions in games where we just don't have the right balance in midfield because we don't have a defensive midfielder we can truly trust on and rely on, that Solskjaer can trust. That's why we played the Fred and McTominay pivot so much, because those two combined do the job that one world-class midfielder could easily do on his own. So another one here. Advocate over on YouTube. Don't want 2 Harrys in one team. Can't spend the entire money on one player. A striker is not our priority. Our priority is a right winger, a central defensive midfielder, and a centre-back. Now, the good thing is, and the good thing I'm reading about all these comments is all of you agree. Not all of you. I'm sorry if some of you don't, but the majority of you agree that our priority this summer really, truly is a central defensive midfielder. And I was saying this last summer, and that wasn't the case last summer. But I think it's become apparent. And it's not as if United are struggling to score goals this year, is it? Greenwood, Rashford, Bruno, Cavani's got nearly 20. We've been scoring goals galore, but holding a firm team shape, not going 1-0 down in the majority of games we're in, that's a bigger issue for United. And therefore, the bigger issue lies surely in defensive midfield and centre-back. Read a few more of your comments out here. Harry Kane will create a diversion for Cavani and might create conflict in the team, says Dennis. I don't think Harry Kane would create conflict when it comes to Manchester United's ambitions. Our ambitions now, based off this season, we finished second. The only way you can go up from finishing second is winning the league. So our ambition is above us. Our ambition is to topple City. And when your ambition is to topple a team like City, you need players like Harry Kane in your team. So I don't think it would cause too much conflict in the team. Sure, it would create a hell of a lot of competition in it. But United, let's be honest, don't truly have a number 9 that we can rely on every single week. Anthony Martial, he's gone out of the picture. And I'll be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if he's completely out of the picture over the next year or two. I think he's proven by this point now that you can't really 100% rely on Anthony Martial as your number 9. Marcus Rashford, I think, is 1,000,000% better on the left than he is through the right or through the middle. I think the left wing is Rashford's position. Now, Cavani has shown his quality there, but he hardly played in the first half of the season because of injuries. He's played brilliantly since. Can you rely on him 34, 35? I don't think you can. Not over the course of a whole season in 3 competitions, which has to be United's aim next season. Therefore, United have got Greenwood, who has been playing more as a right winger than as a centre forward. And when you look at it like that, United really do need a centre forward. But I think it's the fact that we all know we're not going to sign a centre forward and the right winger and the centre back and the defensive midfielder because it's not Football Manager. So therefore, if you're going to choose one, who are you going to choose? Let's read a big comment here out from Facebook. Pratik. This will be a very important transfer window. Not only central defensive midfielder or centre back, a striker is also a must. Need to look for the next 3-4 seasons. Cavani is world class, no doubt, but you can't expect him to play 40, 50 games, as I've just said there. Excellent point. And McFred. They are good, but good only gets you 2nd or 3rd place. I mean, I'm not sure whether that's Roy Keane in the skies, but basically everything that Roy Keane was saying. And yeah, I think our attack is good enough for United to compete for the Premier League and in the Champions League next year. We're scoring enough goals. We have enough threat going forward. I don't think our midfield is. Certainly with Pogba and Bruno it is, but you've seen the difference that Fabinho made at Liverpool. You see the importance of Kante at Chelsea. You see the importance last season when City sold company and didn't replace him and dropped Fernandinho out of central defensive midfield. They lost their shape. Thomas Partey at Arsenal. Leicester have got Ndidi, and they've just signed, I can't remember the name, Sumer, I think. Every single top team in the Premier League, apart from Manchester United, has a truly out-and-out defensive midfielder, somebody whose job it is to marshal in front of the defence, win the ball, and start the attacks. It depends how much you want to spend on that player, because if you spend a lot of money and you get a really good player, not only will they be able to break up the play, they'll be able to pass it forward too properly. And I'm not talking 4, 5, 6 yard passes. But United just do not have that. But Harry Kane, man, going back to it, is it really just a thing that you can ignore the fact that Harry Kane has told Tottenham he wants to leave the club and let one of our rivals sign him? Because if City sign him, we may as well end the league next year already, because their team is so complete. The only thing they haven't had this year is a proper striker, and they still won the league. If they then go and sign the best striker in the league, on top of already being the best team in the league, it's going to be extremely hard to catch up with them next season. Really is. Quick message here. Nearly 1,000 of you watching now. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. I'm sorry if these streams, the quality is not good. I'm sorry if it's choppy. I'm sorry if the super chats aren't working. I don't know why they're not working. I'm trying to get them working. But at least I'm reading your comments out, right? But they're going to be getting better. They're going to be getting bigger, these streams. So make sure you subscribe to United People's TV to stay involved. But yeah, let me know in the comments now what you think about that. Do you think if City sign Harry Kane, that it's game over next season already? Or am I being too much of a pessimist? I'll read a few more of your comments out here. One from Kieran on YouTube. I think Kane is a stupid signing. It's like spending all your money on a sports car and being homeless. We need a right winger, centre defensive midfielder, and a centre back. They have to be priority. Now, I like the analogy. I mean, it depends how big your sports car is. You could technically live in that, but I do not think that Harry Kane is the priority. It's just the fact that when it comes to a player like Harry Kane, when he becomes available, can you just ignore it? Because there's certain things that change. And I suppose that's what United have done for a long time. We've chopped and changed, and ultimately we haven't made the signings that we've needed to make, and we've been left short. Maybe that would happen if we did sign Harry Kane. But let's go here. We've got Damien over on Facebook. Why do you think we can't sign 3 players? You're wrong if City sign him, it's over. You underestimate how important Kane is to any team. And we need that leader to take our line forward and have the rest around it. Now, I don't think we can sign 3 players because history dictates to me that United will not spend that sort of money. And I think that United this summer, us actually spending big really does rely on us selling. I think David De Gea being sold, I think that will happen. Jesse Lingard being sold, I think that will happen. And combined, those two have to get at least 50 million between those two. And maybe that will pay for a player in itself. Maybe there's your defensive midfielder. And therefore, you can spend your money on someone like Sancho. And I think Sancho is far more likely to happen than Harry Kane. But you just can't ignore a player like Kane if Kane's available, surely. Got a comment here from Ken over on Facebook. It's time for United to sign some great players during their prime. They keep missing out on them and only sign them when they're already 30. Mata, Matic, Falcao, and Cavani. I mean, we've had Di Maria. I'm sure there are more examples of that. We got Pogba back. We had Ibrahimovic was about 99 by the time we signed him. We do sign some players in their prime, but typically I would say United's signings that have worked out the best over the course of the history of our club are the players that come in when they're not fully established world-class players, and they turn into world-class players at Manchester United. And I'll be honest, that's when I enjoy watching it the most as a Manchester United fan. But what I'm going to do here is wrap this one up quickly, because it's just a quick video. I wanted to do live because it was too big a story to ignore before the Fulham game tonight. But make sure, as I said, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. There's going to be more of these. I'm trying to improve the quality as I'm going on. It's quite difficult, but I'm trying to do it. So make sure you subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, drop a like on the video. Thanks for all your comments. I'll see you for my reaction to the Fulham game later. Relegated Fulham. United should be pumping them. 10,000 fans at Old Trafford. That's going to be wonderful to watch. I'll be interested to see what happens when it comes to the Glazers out marches, because it's easy enough turning United into a prison when you can close the doors, when you've got to let people in hopefully that's when we can make more noise. But make sure, as I said, subscribe if you're new. Thanks for all your comments. Sorry about the super chats. I'll get it fixed.